Okay, happy Wednesday, everybody. We're here for the midweek check-in. I haven't posted yet my video from Friday or Monday, but I have been doing my scheduling and doing my goals. I ended the week on Friday, or let me back up a minute. For those that are new to this video, I am here to talk about, or to use myself as an example, on getting back on track after derecho, a storm here in Houston that knocked me out of power for 8 days. So I've been off track since then. I stopped using my systems, really kind of got out of sync, and now I'm getting myself back on. So on Friday, I ended the week and looked at what I had accomplished. I ended with 2 priorities not complete. So over the weekend and on Monday, I sat down and thought about why I had not done those 2 priorities. Every day I write down things that absolutely have to be done. These are the core, most important items that cannot be skipped, and I must protect them at all costs. And 2 of those at the end of the week were not completed. So one of them was a letter that I was sending out to potential neighbors in my area. And when I really thought about it, I just didn't really like the tone. So if I was receiving that letter as a neighbor, I wouldn't really appreciate the approach. So I rewrote it over the weekend, and those are stamped and ready to go out. But it got me thinking about why I was behind on derecho. And for the most part, we can't necessarily blame the storm. The storm in itself really did halt productivity for a week and a half, let's say even 2 weeks, because for a few days after, I still had internet delays. When they were repairing the lines, they were cutting internet, and internet would go out. And so it's just really hard to work for 2 weeks. But really, the difficult part was the mental part, where I really dislike inefficiency and I feel bad when I'm behind. And so then I procrastinate more because of the amount of items that I have to get back up to speed on. So for me, it's more overwhelm and feeling of disappointment for not getting where I need to be in my work and not making the progress to my goals. So I basically have to push myself past that mindset and get back into a positive state. And one of the things I really like to do is teaching other people and helping other people be successful. So I'm definitely using this opportunity to share my tips and my system with people. One, to advance you guys, but also to help me get into a positive mental state to get my goals going. So here I am on Wednesday. I've written down my goals. I'm probably about 30% through, which is sort of right on track, since this is beginning of Wednesday. So I will write down my priorities and continue going from there. Let's see. So I wanted to touch back on something that I've mentioned earlier in the week, where I keep referring to goals and values. So really, a lot of people consider this fluff and want to step right past. I know my goals. I know I want to make money. I know I want to work less, but actually getting it down to something that is measurable, to know that if you have achieved that or if you're on track to achieve that. So I really do highly encourage you to sit some time and really think about what drives you, what are your values, what are you trying to accomplish? Because as we move forward and we're looking at how we're spending our time and what is stealing our time and who we allow to kind of take our attention, I'm going to constantly come back to our goals and our values. So it's really important that you know that about yourself. So if that's not something you've done, I 100% think you should pause the video and go write down your goals and write down your values, so that you know who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. So I'll have a separate video on values by itself, but this is something that, again, people feel like they know who they are, but when you're forced to really get it down to, say, like 10 core values, I find a lot of times people have to go back over and over again to figure out which ones are their priorities. So make sure that you have the goals down and the values down and have them somewhere visible so that when you are off track and not getting progress to where you want to be, you can remind yourself of where you should be focusing. So again, when we're working our W-2 jobs or we're working with companies, the reason why they make progress is because they have a plan and they check and make sure they are making progress to that plan. So in those models, there are leaders and there are managers whose job it is to make sure that we're making progress and we're following that roadmap. And when you work by yourself, whether it be in real estate or entrepreneurship, you are all of those things. So you have to find a way to have a roadmap and a milestone. You have to find a way to have self-accountability, and you are your own buffer and your own mind coach. So these are all things that encapsulated in you is what needs to happen. So you have to find that within yourself. So we are going to get going on to what to do next with your time. If you struggle with goals and values, I want you to search and find those videos, and we'll have a little bit more exercise around goals and values so that you can get going on knowing yourself and creating that roadmap. So step one for the Align roadmap, that is 100% about getting that down into measurable pieces. So that when you say, you want to work half the time or you want to make more money, does that mean that you make 50,000 and you want to make 60,000? Does it mean you make 200,000 and you want to make 300,000? You need to have something defined and then go into steps, the actual steps that are going to get you to that goal, right? If it's to work less, are you working 70 hours and you want to work 30? What exactly is it that you're trying to accomplish? And then we go from there, okay? So step one, the roadmap. The next we're going to go to is optimize and hyper-focus, which is one of my favorite items. I hope you're ready for this. See you soon.